me record to this computer because that's the best way to do it. Okay, we're
Thank you.
recording. And then we haven't got all that, intro stuff on it either. Um, you got to remember London is the Forex capital of the world. And so the London session you're trading is ideal for Forex. A lot of people, and you'll see them in the chat as well, Johnny Douglas and people like that, they only trade Forex. They don't trade
Yeah.
gold, they don't trade indices. Um, one of the um, one of the rules I have on the newbie thing that no one listens to is that you shouldn't trade BTC, US 30, and gold when you're a newbie because it's too
Yeah.
volatile.
The hammer time unfortunately makes people tempted, doesn't it?
It does tempt them. You know, I got drawn into doing New York Open because one of the other educators did Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for New York Open, and they left, and there was a gap there. So I was originally doing uh, three calls: my Sunday
Mm.
one, my Tuesday one at 7 a.m. Pacific, and Thursday at 7 a.m. Pacific. Then this other educator left and they came to me and said, look, we need someone to take over New York Open because that's one of our most popular sessions. People want to know what they want to trade over New York Open. And I said, well, I never trade New York Open. And they said, well, if you were going to trade New York Open, could you? I said, of course I can. I'm a trader. I can trade anything. I choose not to trade New York Open, the same as I choose not to trade red folder news. That's one of my choices in my trading plan. He said, but you could trade it. I said, sure, of course. It's easy. It's not difficult. And they said, okay, let's do that. So I did 6 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then that ran right into my 7 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. So, Tuesday and Thursday was like two 1 hour sessions back to back. And then just recently, I think a couple of weeks ago, they said, look, can you switch your second session on Tuesday and Thursday to another time? Because, running back to back sessions, we want to have another educator there. I said, sure. So I switched those to the evening
Mm.
and then I switched them. Tuesday was beginners and Thursday was advanced. It never used to be like that.
Yeah.
And so, of course, all my people in Europe and London, hated it because 7 p.m. is like 3 a.m. in the morning over there. Um,
Yeah. It's not a
but
problem for me that personally because there's only so much you can do in the working day. So
yeah.
actually, I just watch them as recordings, so it's fine.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what I say to everyone. I said, look, the beginners and the advanced is not really about taking trades.
Mm.
We take trades if they're there, but it's more about learning. It's not about, get in now, get out now. We can do that on the New York session. But the beginners and the advanced is more learning how to trade rather than taking trades. Because learning how to trade is teaching you how to take trades. If you don't learn that, you'll never be able to do it on your
Mm.
own. So that's how that came about. So yeah, I mean, I do know New York Open. Everyone gets very excited. I have to show gold and NAS and US 30 because that's what everyone's trading at New York Open. And if I could show Forex as well, but
Mm.
the three screens is enough to show on the at one time, and
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, memory wise, on Sniper Pro, and because of the increased volume during New York Open, my you've seen it, it
Mm.
often freeze, and my
Oh, I did it today,
forecast
but then
disappear.
again, I've had connectivity problems today as well. So
Yeah, no,
people don't realise
it's
it can
just
be
so much going
an
on.
issue on their end as well.
Yeah, it's if I have one chart open, it takes up enough memory. You have three charts open, it's triple the strain on on the whole system, and it often
It's a
poops out
shame they
on
can't
me.
license it. It's a shame they can't license it so you can actually download the indicator onto TradingView. That'd be so much easier.
Well, it would
But
be
I guess they
easier,
want
but
to keep you in.
the problem is the problem with GFU, which I kind of understand, is they want that to be one of the benefits of
Yeah,
your GFU membership.
exactly. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I
You know, and if
understand. I mean,
if if they release it on TradingView, then where's the benefit? I have it on TradingView because I obviously have to back test stuff, and I have to, if I'm making
it,
changes, I need to test it. I can't do it live on GFU. I got to do it in the
yeah,
background.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so your the time that you trade, those four forex pairs are your top four to look at.
yeah,
Um, if you want to look at the others as well to see which ones are moving like that, but those four are good ones to start off with. A lot of people never trade indices or gold or crypto because
yeah. I'm not too bothered.
Forex is a lot easier in
Yeah,
terms of the volatility.
yeah.
You're not going to get caught out so much. You're not going to get as many fake outs, stuff like that. So a lot of people only trade Forex. And a
I
lot
think
of
you can
these
spread
are
yourself too thin
excellent.
as well, can't you?
Sorry?
You can spread yourself too thinly.
Yeah, you can spread yourself too thin. And, I know a lot of people, like my girlfriend, she only trades NAS 100. She doesn't trade anything else. She just watches
Mm,
NAS 100. And if there's a trade, great. And if there isn't, that's also great. I have a lots of people that only trade two things.
yeah,
So again, it's part, again, it's part of your trading plan. The trading plan that you've done, we'll go over it. Um, the trading plan is a living document, so you can be
yeah,
changing that up all the time.
yeah. Well, I think I may actually look at just looking at one. The reason being, I only need to make, I say only, you know, there's a certain amount I need to try and achieve. In the long term, you know, if I could make a few percent a week, 2 to 4% a week, which sounds like a lot. But the 250 pips, I think, with the way you position it, is actually quite good. 50 pips a day. If I could manage that with just one or, you know, a combination of a little bit of scalping and a couple of the longer term trades, then that's it.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe what I need to do is just look at an individual um, pair, trial it for a period of time, see if it works, and if it gives what I need, then that would be the plan.
Yeah. The other thing you'll find as well, though, when you're trading those four pairs, apart from
Mm.
GBP, JPY, they'll often be moving in unison.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so, your Euro USD and your GPP USD, very often, if you're going to get a scorecard on one, you'll get a scorecard on the other. If they're both trending bullish, if they're trending bullish, they'll both be trending bullish,
yeah,
bearish, etc. Euro GPP is slightly different because obviously, they're against each other, and GPP JPY the same as well.
yeah,
Um, so, Euro USD and GPP USD, again, theoretically, especially when you start off, you can probably drop one of those and just concentrate on the three for now.
mm,
Um, the other thing to it that's good though is if later on when you're trading them, if you see a good trade on Euro USD, you can switch to GPP USD and the exact same trade might be there.
yeah.
And so,
Okay,
or one might lead the other slightly. So,
yeah,
very often, one will drag a little slower than the other. So, if you see a good setup on one and you go to the other one, you can see it hasn't quite set up yet. It gives you that option to get in, right at the right time. Gold is always good on any session, so that gold is gonna give you some good moves, but you do have to be careful with gold, until you and gold also you have to be um, a lot more aware of the higher time frames and the levels of interest.
Yeah,
And levels of interest. When I say levels of interest, it's basically all the levels that you see. So
yeah,
whether it's the banking levels, the EMAs, the pivot points, previous structure, whatever it might be, all of those are levels of interest.
yeah. Okay. So in terms of the process then, so for the 5 minute, if for example I just reduce it down to three three pairs, um, I guess what I'd be doing is I'd need to be looking at the maybe the 1 hour initially to see where it's at, then down to the 15 minute to see again where it's at, and then five for entries. So what I'm looking for is where it's near the top or bottom of a trade, ready to kind of go in the opposite direction, just understanding where it is. Is that, is it a simple case of trade what you see on that basis, or I know, for example, when you mentioned Jim does something with the agent session ranges, is there something similar for London that I should be aware of that I should use? Because I guess
Yeah, so
I'm
you
used to
you
things
can
being more of a system than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
yeah
this
you
this it feels totally different.
yeah. Let me share my screen.
Yeah,
Uh, no, that's the wrong one. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Um,
yep, I'm seeing that now.
um, okay. So what I would do, this is how my process goes. So first of
Mm,
all, I'm going to go and look at the 4 hour.
yeah,
Okay, and I'm looking at the 4 hour to see, what's going on the 4 hour. Let's just get rid of all my indicators there. Right now, the 4 hour, we got a red scorecard right here on. This is roughly where my reversal area is
yeah,
um, on my Bollinger Bands.
yeah,
Okay, and my ones I haven't extended on Sniper Pro. They're more extended over,
mm,
so you can see them a bit more. But so now I know I'm in these bands. Now these bands I don't know, and you can never guess which ones they're going to bounce off of. Is it the inner? Is it the middle? Is the outer? Or is it indeed going to break out of there? We don't know that yet. All we know is these are levels of interest.
yeah,
We also know over here we have a level of interest on the R4 right here.
mm-hmm,
Okay. So I would be looking at that. But one thing that Sniper Pro does that you got to remember is these pivot points are, mathematically calculated from where they are before. And
yeah,
so very often when we look at, traditionally when we mark up, charts, we're looking at, where are these levels here? Where are they going? What are we likely to see? And how close are they to other pivot points? So, we've got a decent area about here. We've got multiple
mm,
touch points here. We got almost touch points here. We got another touch point here, another touch point here. This isn't on any of the pivot points here yet. Okay, let me get rid of these.
mm,
We don't need these anymore. You know where they are. And so what I would do when I'm doing that, I'm basically looking at, and I don't use that tool so much, but I would use this tool because it's more of a range
Mm.
than it is a, hold on, it didn't take. It's more of a range than it is a definitive amount. So it'd be more like that. So I
Mm.
usually use the rectangle tool, down
Yeah.
at the bottom here. I have these all favorited on TradingView. And so I will look at those, here's the high. I know that we're coming off that. And then there's probably another one, probably right in here, where we're touching here
Yeah.
and we're touching along here. So it's probably another one in there. And there's probably another one, probably
Yeah. Definitely in
in
the
here,
middle there.
right in here. Okay. So that's
Mm.
kind of how I start off on the 4 hour. Just kind of
Mm.
looking at, where's my structure? What's going to be happening here? We are trending bullish. We are very strong. But we are in this upper Bollinger Band. We did have a red scorecard. We did get this big arrow coming, this big candle coming down. Um, we're 10 minutes away from that closing.
Mm.
So we'll have to see what the next candle is. But that gives me an idea, where are we at here? If I want to go to the daily, just to make sure, just to make sure that I've not got any. And the reason I'll go to the daily is, am I really at all-time highs or not? Yeah, we
Mm.
certainly are. So, we're right up there. This is NAS 100, breaking the 25. We know that 25,000 is a big round number, and that 25,000 is right there, roughly. So I'm going to put, right here, 25,000, big round number. Okay,
Yeah.
we wicked above it, couldn't stay there, wicked above it, couldn't stay there. This is on the daily.
Mm.
So I just checked that to see, where are we in terms? Okay, we're at the big round number. We obviously when we hit it, we're going to reject off it. But is it going to be a pullback, or is it going to reverse here? You know how trading goes. We go up, we get a pullback, 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 we go up. And look at, all of these. You can, again, you can do, low, higher low, higher low, higher low,
Mm.
high, higher high, higher high, higher high. This is old
Mm.
school. I mean, you don't have to write those in, obviously. You
No.
already know what they are. So this is a massive, massive trend. It's been going on since it's been going on since, April.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but I won't do the daily I won't do the daily every day. I might do that on Sunday.
Mm. Yeah.
To see that was. I very rarely go up to the daily other than the beginning of the week. So we go down to the 4 hour level. We're looking at these kind of things. Um, we don't need these yellows. I'll take them all off in a minute. In
Mm.
fact, I'll take these ones off because I don't want them in the way. But I mean, you know, higher highs and higher lows,
Yeah.
I mean. So we got a couple of
Absolutely.
ranges here. That's on the 4 hour. Then I'll drop down to the 1 hour. And again, I'm looking at the same, what are these looking like? Where are we here? Um, you know, yeah, still like those, still like those, maybe we got another one in here now,
Mm.
so I might look, probably might be thinking there's another one in the middle here somewhere.
Mm.
We got some touches here. We tried jumping through, we went through, then we went under again. Couldn't do it, couldn't do it, couldn't do it. Tried to
So you're
get,
marking up additional points where you might see reversals in the
yeah,
future, aren't you?
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. But what you'll find though is when you start doing these, as you get down to these other points, you'll start seeing these line up with your pivot levels here. Some of
Hmm.
them. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's your 1 hour. Drop down to the 30 minute. Same thing. What have we got here on the 30 minute? There's probably another one in here. Not really. Actually, yeah, not bad. Got another one in here because we got touches here. We got touches here, width there, width through here,
Hmm.
touches here, here, and here, touches all the way along here.
Yeah.
So not a bad another one. And again, it's right on the R2 as well. So, you know, the one thing that I've done obviously with Sniper Pro is, this whole layered approach is the key to it, is the more
Yeah.
confluences you get, the more confident you can be in your trades. Now we're on the 30 minute. Now, 30 minute, 15 minute, and 5 minute. If you're trading on the five, your 15 minute and your 30 minute is where your confirmations are going to be. So, where are we? 30 minute, we've already hit TP2. We've got a
Hmm.
scorecard, clean as you like. We had divergence down here. I mean, perfect trade. Divergence, that gives you the heads up. If you were in that buy, as soon as you saw divergence, you got out. You got out pretty much with maximum pips. That's why I always get out on divergence. Always.
Yeah.
Because it's going to give you that maximum pips. Do you want to get in? It's counter trend. Yeah, it's counter trend, but remember what this line here is. This is your 25,000. We're at all-time highs here.
Hmm.
It's not beyond the realm of, we're at the R4 here. So again, on the, right
It's
here.
overbought. Divergence.
Right. Now what you're doing is you're stacking your confluences again. What do we got?
Yeah.
All-time high, R4, red scorecard, super sniper arrow,
Hmm.
94%. Yeah, divergence, snake turned blue. Yeah, the snake is still in the upper half, but it turned from blue to red. Yeah, this is blue, blue, blue here, but it does turn red right here. For more advanced, your entry is on that candle there
Yeah.
because that is the first one there. If you were trading the 30 minute, that's the first one that's a red candle and red arrow. So even
Yeah.
though you got scorecard there and a super sniper arrow, you have a red arrow, you don't have a red candle.
Hmm.
And down
Yeah.
here, you don't have a red trend direction. So wait for the next one. There it is. Boom, you're in.
And I'm guessing as an advanced trader, you wouldn't be putting your stop loss where the red line is. You'd be putting it perhaps
Yeah,
where the
forget
P
stop
star is.
losses and TPs. Once you've gone past 1-1, forget stop losses and
Yeah.
TP. We're not going to even. I'll show you about those later. But the
Yeah.
TPs and the stop losses. The reason why we had the TP, the stop loss TP1 and TP2 is again for the beginner.
Hmm.
But once we got it up, I realized that the TP2 for a beginner, between TP1 and TP2, you need some extra skills to recognize whether it's going to go to TP2, whether it's going to reverse off a EMA, whether it's going to reverse off a pivot point. Now I'm getting more advanced. So
Hmm.
now we simplified it, or I simplified it to red scorecard entry, set your stop loss, set your TP, just sit back and watch it and write down what you see. And,
Yeah.
hopefully they see, okay, yeah, now here I can see there's the red arrow, there's the red candle, there's a bullet point right there. And that's where we change trend direction right there. So that was my
Mm.
entry. And as a further entry, we've got the PSARs popped right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another confluence. And on the very next candle, what did we do? We broke our trend level here, turned blue to
Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
So safer entry, if you want to, on the higher time frame is that one, because now
Mm.
you've got more confirmations. It's still good. I would still say take the one before because you got the PSAR flip.
Yeah.
So that's important. You are hitting your all-time high here. You know that's a reversal area. You can see quite clearly, here's our reversal areas in our Bollinger Bands. We're right in it. No question at all. We're going to reverse here. We just need these to line up. We see that scorecard, super sniper arrow, blue candle, blue arrow, red candle, red arrow, red sniper later snake, bullet point right there. That means there's other stuff going on in the background that you can't see
Mm.
that just make the thing even more ridiculous. Um, and I am going to take this dotted line out because we have other things that do the same thing there. So that's going to disappear. Don't need it.
Mm.
I'm also going to take the mid Bollinger Band out,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
grey one. Not
Okay.
because it's not good, because when I was training, again, one of the um, confirmations that I always looked like was it was on the correct side of the mid Bollinger Band. So if it was going up, needed to be above it, and if it
Yeah.
was going down, needed to be below it. But I've got like there are lots of the other stuff that I've got on there gives the same
Yeah. The fast
information,
DNAs
so
are
I
the
don't
same,
need
aren't
it.
they? Yeah.
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 And so, the fast moving EMA and the 55 EMA is a little bit more accurate
Yeah.
and moves quicker. And the trend direction is this sniper later is proving to be ridiculously good,
Mm.
far more than I had hoped for.
Yeah.
And I'm a MACD guy, so my oscillator of choice is the MACD. Used to be the RSI and the stochastic, but then I like
Mm.
the MACD better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, now I'm looking at the 30-minute. That's what I'm seeing. Now I look at my levels. We broke through the level here. We're heading
Mm-hmm.
for another level here. Are we going to get down to it? Is this our goal? Now I've got targets. If we break this, and don't forget our targets are always, if we break this, we've got to
Mm.
look at this EMA. If we break the purple EMA, we're going to be looking at the R1. If we break the
And it's
R1, we're going to be
yeah.
looking at this level. If we
And at
break
this
that, we're going to be
sorry.
looking at
Yeah. And at this point, I guess that's where you'd be managing your stop more tightly because you've got lots of things it has to break through. So this is where you'd be looking to move that stop down. Is that right?
yeah. So what I would be doing, like I said, forget the stop loss and TP. So in this case, what I would be doing, my stop loss originally when I first get in this trade
Mm.
is going to be on the PSAR right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I deleted it. Hold on. Let's get it back. I just meant to change the color on that. There's my stop loss right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I want to make sure, old school, we are above the recent swing high, which is there.
Yeah.
So, if you want to put it just above that little zone on the top of that zone, just a little bit above the PSAR,
Mm.
you can do. I think that is on the PSAR though, still. No, it's
Yeah.
still like old school. I'm still, I still want to be a little bit above the swing high.
Yeah.
But, my PSARs very often are. However, if there's not a PSAR there, Andrew, which sometimes they're not, I'm still going to start there.
Yeah.
So let's say this PSAR wasn't here. I would start there. And then when that second PSAR opened up right there, then I would move it.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you just don't, the PSAR hasn't formed yet. where you want it to. So I would just put my stop loss there just so I'm protected for any sudden
Yeah.
moves. And then when I can, I'm going to move the PSAR. Now, obviously, the ways that I'm going to move my stop loss, I'm going to be moving them along the PSAR like this.
Hmm.
But when I see a big drop like this, my PSAR can be too far away now.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to switch from that and say I'm happier on my pivot point
Yeah. Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to put my stop loss there. Why? Because I want to keep my profits locked in. If I get a
Mm.
sudden reversal, if Trump tweets something, if something happens in the world, someone who drops a bomb somewhere or something, and I suddenly get a shoot up, I've protected my pips.
Yeah.
And I might just leave it there on this particular trade. If
Yeah.
I was trading the 30-minute,
Mm.
okay? But I'm trading the 5. This is just what I'm looking on the 30.
Mm.
So let's drop down to the 15 and we see, but don't forget, I've drawn all this up. We started what? On the 4 hour.
Mm.
All these
Yeah.
things have started on the 4 hour. So, this is a 4 hour one. This is a 4 hour one. This is a 4 hour one. I think this was the 1 hour one. This was the 30-minute one, maybe,
Mm.
but I leave them all on there so I can see what are we doing here. And right now we can see there's a clear trend that would jump in between these levels of interest.
Mm.
Look at where our pivot points are now.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So our pivot points, let's get rid of that one because I don't need that one. Our pivot points now, is this our extended range there to there?
Mm.
So that's what I'm looking at. I'm still not trading on this. This is just say, okay, well, maybe my extended range is there. My inner range is this line here because we haven't broken that. So, this is very high up here. In fact, I don't even like it up there. I'd put it more down here
Mm.
and say, that's my more probable range that
Mm.
we're trading in. Okay, and then I'll drop
Yeah.
down to we got a blue scorecard, we got divergence. So if you're in that cell from here
Yeah.
on the 15-minute, if you're in that cell, and as soon as you get to there, you're out. Look what
Mm.
that
Yeah.
did. Look what that did for you. Right on divergence. You can't get lower than that.
No.
That's why I
No.
get out on divergence. If it doesn't go for you and it carries on down, you just get straight back in again. But
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, Andrew, getting out on divergence will get you maximum pips.
Yeah.
And look, if it
Yeah.
comes back up here and we still got PSARs above and you want to get in, look, you got out here and you get back in here for a sell.
Mm.
You're taking more pips because your first trade was, here to here. And then your second trade is going to be, maybe here to here.
Yeah.
You've actually made pips by getting out here and getting back in. But what you've done is you've locked in your pips here, no matter what. This may go sideways. You might decide there's nothing to trade there. So, okay, you've taken your pips. You've got them in the
Yeah.
bag right here. Now you might say, okay, well, look, I got them in the bag. I've taken my, you know, however many pips that is, on one trade.
It's a few, is that?
It's 216 pips.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, you want 50, you got 200 there. So why not just take them and stop trading?
It's a good point.
That's on the
Yeah.
15-minute, don't forget. That's taking you, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless, that's one trade that nicely, yes, it's counter trend, but there's nothing stopping you here. It's nicely, red trend level. This is a 15-minute, remember, so you can trade it.
Yeah.
Red
Yeah.
scorecard, red arrow, super sniper arrow. red snake. Your fast moving EMA's changed from blue to red. If you wanted to wait till it crossed the EMA and got in here, you could do. You'd be in on that one instead. And then your pips would be, 165.
Still almost a week's work done, isn't it? I'm
Right,
conscious of time, John.
exactly.
I coach a bit of rugby on a Tuesday night, so
Okay.
I'm going to have to go at this point. I think you've given me enough now to what I can do is I can update my trading plan and also start applying some of that before we catch up next.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if
It's good.
I
Still on
still,
for an hour earlier on Friday, right?
yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
if we can do that, then I can update that plan and maybe, excuse me, give you some feedback on how that's been applied. I think I've got some more ideas on how I need to do things a bit differently,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, that's the
and
idea.
including, yeah, and including, I think, being more diligent with the charts, marking up the charts a bit more. That it's going to be difficult because I can't do it directly in Jifu, and it doesn't save them some of the things that you mark up there.
That's
So
also coming as well.
yeah, yeah. So that's one of the challenges, but I'll just have to work around it using TradingView and Jifu to be able to do that. But I
Yeah.
think it's not insurmountable, and it's only going to get easier when those changes come into Jifu, isn't it? So
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because all those
yeah,
things are coming. It's just going to be the next few weeks.
yeah, yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm sure there'll always be changes we want, but
Yeah,
but that's
exactly.
been great. Thank you, John. As I say, I'm going to have to rush because I need to get off to this
All
training
right.
thing now. I'm
No
training
problem,
junior
my
rugby.
friend. I'll see you on Friday and we catch up and yeah,
Really
practice with
appreciate it.
those and
Yeah,
the advanced one on Thursday. You might want to look at that on the replay. I'm going to go into the levels. I'm going to go into Fibonacci. I'm going to go
yeah.
into TP2 and 3.
I've
I'm
used
going to go
Fibonacci on
into
my other swing
Bollinger-Band
strategy,
reversal.
so
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm interested to see what levels you use for that.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody's
yeah,
different.
yeah, exactly.
Great
So
stuff.
yeah, so watch that replay. If you can, and I think you'll be interested in that one on Thursday as well.
Will do. Thank you, John. Much appreciate that, and I'll speak to you in a couple of days.
All right, my friend. Well, good
Cheers,
to meet
mate.
you, and glad you got some value of it. And I'll see you Friday.
Great stuff. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.